and that's for the 30-foot distance. The result, we're fairly close. Oh, shoot. Okay. Well, this is 1.36. This was 1.39. That was 1.6. No, it was 1.74. So as you can see, somehow that got shifted over. Put in those numbers, but okay. So 1.39, 1.74 here. So the percent error came out to 2.14 and 9.44. So for the next time, more speed controller. The speed controller couldn't handle that peak volt, so we just hook them up in parallel and essentially save that whole problem, assuming that the speed controllers don't have a different frequency. So you can't use just a different speed controller, you have to use the same one. And hook them up in parallel, and you'd have plenty more power available. And you'd be able to run it at your 22.2 volts. It's a decent power range because historically that's what the 120 pound bots use. And it tends to be that range that everybody seems to really like. It's the sweet spot for lithium ion. 22.2 is because instead of like 24, which you would normally think, 24 volts, that's a pretty normal number. 22.2 is due to the fact that each cell is 3.7. So you will never get a LiPo battery that is actually 24 unless you modify it yourself and have different types of cells. Use a max speed of 15 miles per hour. That is plain fast enough for 40 by 40 square. So that is what you should base your calculations on rather than doing the max spinning torque. It gives you a more definitive area so that you can have more torque, essentially using less amps, hence lowering the efficiency. So you would get more efficiency when you're more over here. Well, no, when you're more over here, but not here. This is the least efficient place. Right about here is the most efficient place, and right here, right in the middle, is the most power. 14.8 actually works, so you can use that, but it would be better to move a little bit quicker given the four wheel. That gives you a little bit of traction to move quickly, and it's stable. And now that the whole parameter behind choosing the four wheel is that you could be very flexible on how fast you can move because it's not wobbling like crazy. A lot of bots failed because they were just two wheel and they were creating gyro forces that just knocked them right over. So that's a very effective way to go, doing a four wheel invertible. So this is a video. We have YouTube, pretty much the whole competition, everything that we found. Neat. So as you can see, it's moving fairly quickly. But the whole reason why it's kind of sliding around a little bit is because it's moving a little too fast. And it doesn't have a lot of torque. So the gear ratio should be adjusted such that you'd be able to push a little bit more. You notice that whenever the guy gets in contact with us, he pushes a little bit more than we actually do. Some sparks flew. That was kind of nice. We actually broke some of the titanium plate and some bolts. It was actually hard for them to take it apart. So kudos to the weapon guy, Andre Melnick. Good job. And essentially, I gotta run this for about okay, so you get the idea. Essentially, this is what it is in action. decided to go with this rather than the actual testing footage, because this is actually where it really gets tested, where something breaks or something fails because of a previous issue. And as you can see, the battery life is plenty sufficient. It's lasting all the way through. It's lacking that certain torque to be able to push effectively. And again, the gear ratio should be more about 7, is the historical perspective there. Spun around, that was kind of fun. So this is the SolidWorks model that we worked off of. Andre kind of put some little graphics on there. I was like, let's go simple, but he's like, no, we need to make it look pretty. So here it is, the pretty one. The frame was welded together from scrap, as said before. And the camera doesn't really like welds, I guess. But it looks pretty cool. Right over here, if you look closely, you can see little flames from the helmet. Because it's a cool helmet. Right here is the actual configuration. It's very similar to the actual model. Here is the switches, motor for the weapon system, and the gearing right here is directly off the shaft, which really you should have an alternate gear system, and the batteries, and right in here is all your electrical components such as servos and motor. So there it is. Jailbreak, Benta is pretty good. So might want to reinforce that area. This is the competitor that we won against. And there's some after party. We essentially had a good time. This is a drink machine that pours out drinks based off of a little console right there. So it's pretty neat. You can have a good time while doing something pretty intense as well.